Hello everyone and welcome to the TV Society in English with French accent in bonus. A minted show produced by the SOCIETIES.MEDIA with logistical support from Checksub. This episode is presented with the support of Virtual Minds. Today, television advertising is entering in a new era. According to Magnite, more than 60% of premium video buyers in Europe are now planning campaigns across both linear and connected TV environments. At the same time, global CTV ad spend is expected to surpass $40 billion in 2026. The industry is clearly moving toward a converged TV marketplace, but are broadcasters, agencies, and technology platforms truly ready for unified TV buying? Can linear TV finally become a data-driven and flexible as digital advertising? To discuss this major transformation, I'm delighted to welcome Raphaël Porte from CTV.MEDIA RMC BFM and Houssaini from Virtual Minds. Hello everybody. This time it will be in English with French in bonus, accent French in bonus with two special guests, I have to say, on the TV Society.
Hello again. Michel.
Hossein, thanks to be here. So I know you come from London, especially for this TV show. And Raphaël Porte from RMC BFM ads, but now it's CTV.MEDIA.
It's CTV.MEDIA.
Exactly. And we are here for talking about a big topic for the industry dedicated to convergence. This word is used for maybe almost 30 years on the industry.
But now it's real.
Exactly. And exactly what we are going to talk about, the convergence on the TV. And first question for you, Raphaël. How are broadcasters adapting their commercial strategies to a converged linear plus CTV market?
This first question of distribution.
Yeah.
The distribution did change, and now we are supposed to be everywhere. I mean, everybody's speaking for years about ATAWAD, anytime, anywhere, any device.
Yeah.
This is exactly what's happening right now. And the way broadcasters are doing it, it's either through a walled garden system where you have your application everywhere, and this is the same application, either through partnership with smart TV, with telecom operators and everybody, to have your channel, but not only on walled garden system, but anywhere. This is exactly the path that we decided to take 3 years ago, signing in beginning with Samsung TV Plus, with TCL, with Molotov, with everybody, launching fast channel, launching whatever is needed. And this is also the reason why we did sign also a big agreement with YouTube at the beginning of the year to put our content within their ecosystem, and not just through a walled garden, but through a full hyper distribution.
Thank you. So it's a question of distribution from your point of view. So
it's a question of distribution, because you need to have your content everywhere. And then once you have your content everywhere, you need to put ad everywhere. And this is where it's getting more complicated.
Yeah, I mean, I agree.
Hossein.
I mean, the main thing, though, is to keep governance, right? You need to be in control, because if you go only with the walled gardens or the streaming platforms, which they prefer to do, you lose the grip at some point, right? So this is the right way to go. I agree. So.
And Hossein, on the, I would say, technological side, how can technology platforms support a unified buying approach across linear TV and streaming?
The question is, what does unification mean? From a technology perspective, I don't think there's any issue, right? It's just, there are just so many stakeholders involved in the whole ecosystem. On the one hand, you have the broadcaster, you have the buy side, you have the brand, you have from a total TV perspective, measurement, right, which is a huge topic. What's the truth we're working with, right? And then do we go with CPM, or do we have a hybrid model on the one side? On the broadcaster side, I mean, you made the decision 3 years ago. You still have so many stakeholders you need to convince, because every broadcaster, I would say, they, technology-wise, 50 to 70%, and then everybody has their unique solutions. You always have the feeling you take one screw out and everything implodes. So the only way anything can work in this ecosystem is not replacement, I think, from a unification. It's an orchestration layer on top that helps you orchestrate across all these pillars. But, for that, you need to have a common voice. And we've seen, as Virtual Minds, we've brought unification to Austria. It took us 4 years to get anywhere, right? So if you take a tiny country with 8 million people or 9 million people, and you scale this to the UK or France, it takes way longer to get there. Everybody has their own perspective, what unification means. I just had the case in the UK where, people are talking about total TV, but only from a digital perspective, using terms like digital linear, which is premium CTV, and forgetting the powerful piece of traditional linear, which is so important. We can't do that. We've done it with every new media, not to mention programmatic when it came. It's like we pushed the old away and tried to push the new one. It's great that we unify now, SVOD, BVOD, AVOD, that we're able to do that through one platform. It's possible, but we cannot forget the powerful piece, which is traditional TV.
Thanks, Hossein. So, Raphaël, Hossein just evoked unification, common voice. Regarding the advertisers, I would say, what are advertisers expecting today from a converged TV offering? Regarding what you're offering, for example?
They are looking for simplicity. Simplicity is a key to everything. They're looking for data. I mean, we have to put data everywhere, anyway. The data will bring audience and will bring efficient. So you need everything, but you need really simplicity. One point of contact, and make sure that in this fragmented ecosystem, just there is one voice. One of the reasons why what we did launch recently is one product named Beyond TV. Yeah. Beyond TV is just near TV. It means that you have traditional TV, which is the pillar of whatever is communicated, and also you need to communicate on all the rest of it, and to have to go beyond TV. So we launched this product 1 month ago.
Yeah,
and the idea was to make sure that that you complete the coverage of linear TV with one single point of contact, and to make sure that that announcer or advertiser will just have simplicity. And on this product, we did mitigate YouTube inventories, CTV inventories, and brute inventory, which is through Instagram. We put everything on one thing. You have one bundle. You pay for this bundle, and you get it.
And what about the measurement of all this assets?
All this was done through all this digital measurement, because it's more difficult to put this on linear broadcast. The digital measurement is done through Audience Project, who is helping us on this, and through Explain, which gives us all the memorization, the attention. But Audience Project will bring us the global deduplication and make sure that you have just one single source. And it's for us, it's a revolution.
Okay.
It is a revolution. I mean, you're one of the first broadcasters that really thinks advanced. How do I package it right for the brand? When simplicity is everything, and which means a smart way. Which when you think about the broadcasters today, who for decades went so, well, this is how we package and this is how we sell TV. Never thought from a digital perspective that the planners of today and tomorrow, they don't want to pre-plan, right? They want to go into a platform and then they want to buy. And it's even possible with linear, right? At some point, not in real time, but I think that ecosystem can coexist in one unity, right? So I think this is brilliant.
But it's also possible in linear. I mean, if you just make ad switching and addressable TV, is just the fact that you can address everything. I mean, from a single point of view, you're able to put everything on addressable TV, which is basically broadcast TV with digital, plus whatever other ecosystem. Depending on, again, legacy tech.
We had broadcasters who where we said, we can change your ad in less than 60 seconds from the ad spot from a linear perspective. And they said, we're happy with 90 minutes, right? So, so it really depends, but that sounds fantastic.
So, Hossein,
no more questions. Sorry.
No. I have a question regarding this stuff, so the technical aspect of this of the concept of convergence of TV. What are the main technological barriers from your point of view, still preventing fully unified TV buying?
What are the main facts that are preventing that? Well, it's a perspective piece. Like, how do I connect all the dots? And in Austria, we work with the JIC, with the Mediametrie, is the AGGT. Mm-hmm. In Austria is the Mediametrie here, which was a center point who brought everybody together. Because in the end, technology-wise, we are there. You need to, from a Virtual Minds perspective, we execute. We use the data to execute and buy and help to monetize the broadcaster. But at some point, you have to use the audience data and make it accessible so you can target at some point. Now, the question is, from a broadcaster perspective, do I believe only in audience data, or is contextual still relevant, right? What's the value of that's a big discussion we have. Because from an agency perspective, I get it, right? They push in this direction, but the threat that could happen is that the CPMs in the future will dilute the value of the linear inventory at some point, because we did the same thing with programmatic when I remind you when programmatic came and we had deal IDs. The publishers didn't want to do that. A year later, we bought it to a dumping price. And this is the thing that broadcasters need to prevent, and they're very cautious. That's why the technology piece is not the problem. It's just hesitant. That's why every broadcaster works on their own solution. But the only way to win is if you collaborate, right? Yeah. Because no matter what, Google or all the other streaming solutions, YouTube, who spend billions into R&D, you compare this to a local broadcaster, there's no chance. Let's be honest, right? So the question is, how do you keep your governance? How do you keep in control that you won't be, at the end, a content provider rather than a platform and content provider where you have control over your audience and you define what the price of your inventory is, and not a streaming platform?
Thanks, Hossein. So, Raphaël, Hossein talked about collaboration. So my question is about how are TV and digital buying models converging today, and how are they collaborating within a unified video ecosystem?
What Hossein said is very important. I mean, I think anyway, the content is really the key. And this is where broadcasters are keeping their content, but they are also in charge of distribution of their content. And the way you distribute your content is the key to everything. Then you have all the tech, but the tech, I'm sorry to say, but the tech is just a way to address the audience. What is very important is how you orchestrate your content and what your clients want. The clients want an audience watching a context. I mean, the context, the audience and the content are both very, very important. Yeah. And this is where we are. Anyway, be it linear, be it on Instagram, be it on YouTube, wherever it is, what is important is the content and the way that you orchestrate your advertising around your content.
Okay. A lot of people are talking about automation. Yeah. From your point of view, Hossein, can automation and data finally make linear TV as flexible as digital advertising?
Yeah, I mean, we come back to the discussion, right? How important is audience targeting compared to contextual, right? Yes, it can and it will at some point. It needs to happen. Automation is relevant. It happened with the traditional digital business as well. Question is to what extent. It's all in the end. It's all about quality. What we don't want is, as I mentioned, a dilution in the whole ecosystem, and then what we've done with digital ads a decade ago, We want to keep quality. If you look at the linear business, how it is still today, and we cannot deny France is still 70% in linear. The US is still a big proportion in linear, although we say, yeah, CTV will take over and so on. If you look at sports, the sports broadcasting in the US, over 80% is still linear over there. And they will not give that governance to anybody else because we talk about millions, right? Billions of money. Why would you give that control away? In the end, the brand, as you said, Raphaël, is that brands don't care, right? They just care that they get the outcome. Unity is very important. That's why we need the technology and automation and audience part. But what we need to prevent totally is that there is an overlap. So overlap means if I reach the same audience in digital, I'll do in linear, something is wrong. It needs to be an extension and enabler, right? So that's where we can think about, okay, how can automation help us to make better decisions, right? That's why you have technology for. And how can I use different audience pots or data pots to reach the audience to have better outcomes?
And anyway, you will have all the way down, you will have linear TV with live event. I mean, sport is live. And on live, you have a specific behavior to have. You have an engagement which is completely different. So the value is here. I mean, the value is on engagement. You have engagement on live sport. You have live on news. News is engaging, whatever. I mean, if you're looking at something, you will be engaged. So linear will still remain. I mean, there is no question. Even I think I've read something about the US where it said, I think it was something from Nielsen a few weeks ago, saying that the linear were 52%. Then, I mean, the linear is bigger right now in the US than it was one quarter ago.
Oh, wow,
so
okay.
It's still, I mean, there is this bottom, which is maybe 50%.
Yes, it's another evidence that the content is key for developing, the audience, but also as an opportunity for developing the monetization for broadcasters.
Yeah, and that's why, to Raphael's point is that, simplicity is key, right? It's like we need to make it interesting for the buy side to think very similar like they do in their programmatic landscape. Oh, I don't have to pre-plan. I can exchange an ad in less than X seconds on the one side, and for the broadcaster, I can use technology to yield better, right? Because in the end, if I can deal with my zero spikes, I make more money. If I can use less inventory because I have better data and better targeting, I can make more money, right? And that's why we have the technology. What happens right now, unfortunately, in the market is, and which is beautiful on the one hand, that it happens because it gives access to people who usually don't have access to inventory. The ad managers, some of the ad managers are pushing more fragmentation into the market, which is again an advantage for the streaming platforms to go say, no, come to us, we consolidate everything, right? SVOD, BVOD, and AVOD. You get Disney and you get YouTube and you get whatever you want from us, which can be a threat to the broadcaster at some point.
Don't forget at the same time that you need to target, you need data, and if you want the exact good people at the one time.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you need reach, which is well over the target. I mean, you need something, global coverage. And you don't need specific automation if you want a global coverage. If you take the example of automotive, for example, automotive, when they are launching one brand, they would make maybe 100,000 units, and it's a big success. And they are communicating on all the audience through mass market because they want this coverage. I mean, you need both of it.
Yeah.
And I think automation is very good for targeting.
Yes.
But it's much, I mean, it looks to me that you need less automation if you want to be really broad.
Thank you, Raphaël. The last question, and if it's possible for you to answer quickly, it will be cool.
Why do I get the last question?
Next time, you will come back.
A quick one.
You can continue the conversation just after the TV show, So, question for you, for the last question for you, Raphaël. How are TV consumption and advertising evolving for brands in a multi-screen, multi-usage environment?
Quick.
Take your time.
No, I mean, it's evolving through, once more, it's evolving through either, I mean, you need data and you need content. The content is really the key of it. You need big brands, but the brands are not only the channel, it's also the IP that you put inside.
Yeah.
Thank you, Raphaël. Last question for you, Hossein. Do you believe the industry is moving toward a single buying currency across linear TV and CTV?
I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. So the question is not if it does, it will. Again, it's perspective, right? What we do in this industry very well is what's happening right now, people using the term total TV, but they only mean one part of the business, leaving linear out. And this cannot happen. We cannot allow that, right? The broadcasters cannot allow that. If we talk about digital linear, right, we're confusing this part of the business more than ever. So it will happen. But I think a step before that could be a hybrid model, because when we talk about measurement teams, I mean, I was at the ASI last year with all these measurement people, 400 measurement people, and me. They were not happy to see me, trust me. They figured out that they cannot win the war on just GRPs. They need to think hybrid because they lost already the game in this CPM game. But a hybrid step is relevant to go the full CPM way. Again, total TV means how do we sit everybody then? What's the truth? Because every technology, even in measurement, gives you different results. So getting everybody, I mean, look at your market. You just needed 2 years to talk about multi-screen measurement to make a decision on that. I mean, I don't have to say that. So I mean, everybody is great. Everybody is intelligent. If we only just look at what we need to achieve, because in the end, if you don't do it, the streaming platforms will pass you, and then you have a huge problem. I can say it because I work for one of them. So, and I know what they do. And I still believe that linear is a relevant medium and will be for a long time. The challenge, though, is that the digital people do not understand linear, right? So how do we get there that they do?
Thank you, Hossein. Thank you, Raphaël, for participating to this TV show in English with French accents in bonus and German accents, maybe. Yeah. Thanks. Last word before to leave.
Oh, so what was it? En français, it was
la puissance.
La puissance du télé linéaire avec la flexibilité du digital. C'est parfait. Hein? Excusez-moi, mes amis.
It was perfect. So thanks again. That concludes our discussion on the convergence of linear TV and connected TV, a transformation that is not only reshaping media buying, but also redefining how broadcasters, advertisers, and technology platforms will collaborate in the future. Many thanks to our guests for sharing their insight and expertise, and thank you as well to our partner, Virtual Minds. The TV Society is a minted show produced by the SOCIETIES.MEDIA with logistical support from Checksub. You can watch this episode on LinkedIn and listen to the podcast on all major audio platforms.